Master Tools de Ahrefs. AWT son herramientas SEO gratuitas que ayudan a mejorar tu sitio web para posicionarte mejor en los motores de búsqueda. Veamos de qué se tratan. Con Site Audit puedes escanear tu sitio web para más de 100 problemas de SEO que podrían estar retrasando tu sitio en Google. Luego puedes seguir los consejos dentro de la herramienta para solucionarlos. Con Site Explorer puedes ver las palabras clave que envían tráfico a tu sitio y luego utilizar esos datos para mejorar las páginas de bajo rendimiento. Además, puedes descubrir páginas de toda la web que están enlazadas a tu sitio web. Analiza por qué pueden haber enlazado contigo y utiliza esas ideas para conseguir más menciones en línea. Visita ahrefs.com/AWT. Regístrate con una cuenta gratuita y mejora la visibilidad de tu sitio en la búsqueda hoy.
This whole program has been a long one. They were happy with the general content created by AI, as long as it had certain search quality, and the launch of all these tools has also advanced ChatGPT. As you can see, there's been different new developments: AI, ChatGPT 4, ChatSonic, Mikey, and others. And they are now chief marketing officers of this extension. These are tools like ChatSonic and others. And the interface is always the same. This is something that has a lot of different functionalities which are integrated. There is a lot of tools that can be shared. So don't worry, all of this information is also available to you later. So what we have access to now is additional tools. And this 25-26% that is currently being used is not only about the content, but it's also about the flow of SEO work and data analysis, technical support, the automatization of processes, investigation and analysis. It's spectacular. So there is an amazing amount of automation of data. So what we can do is look at what the opportunities are of maximizing the efficiency of using these tools in our daily work in SEO. Here you can see that 21% of people unfortunately don't plan to start using SEO and to use AI in their SEO audits. And at the same time, 53% don't do it yet, but they plan to do it. So we can always think of this as AI in the format of autopilots, and the extra criteria that we have that helps to give us the further experience in the couple of few months. There are also extra filters that are being added. And this is not only in English-speaking world, but also in Spanish-speaking world. They will have a general impact, and we have to take this into account. This is a world where information is accessible to the general public, and there is proposition of unique value. This is a content that will help us a lot, and it is something we need to take into account for these scenarios. Of course, there are some very important publications, some posts that draw a lot more traffic than others, but the question is whether they are actually reliable, whether they have sufficient information. So what can we use? Large language models for. We have some things that they are good for, but there are some things that they are not good for. So we need to look at this kind of chart. Whether it matters if the output is true, then we can use ChatGPT. If it doesn't matter, but if it does, we have to make sure that the information that we get can be proved. And if it needs to be verifiable, then we cannot use ChatGPT, and so on and so forth. So there are different ways of maximizing the usability of this tool. I wrote this article some months ago, and I'm not going to talk about all of this again because you can read it there. But we can use integration that Lily mentioned before. We can integrate ChatGPT with Bing in the browser mode. So you can have information in real time, or you can use ChatSonic or others. This is another alternative that allows freemium users to use it. You don't need to have your credit card data there, you don't need to have endless accounts, but you can use this. So how do we start? First we have, it's very important to have clear and concise prompts, then execution of the task, and then we have validation and edition of the results by an expert. I tend to use the 5 W's and the H questions. So basically who, what, where, when, why, how. Here we can see the results of this search, and they are specifically relevant in the first iteration, for example, for creating ideas from title tags. So these are the two types of techniques that you can use in different scenarios in order to get better results. You can use copy-paste in some cases, but not in every case. So if you have this generator prompts on Google Sheets using the 5 W's and H, you can get results faster. And this works in both English and Spanish. As you can see in this slide, there are Spanish examples and English examples, and this will allow you to get better results. We should take into account that if we use this tool as input, we can then give free hands to our SEO imagination, and we can get popular questions about any trends, any topic very fast, just by using Vision Pro by Apple, along with the URLs which already respond to them. And we also have the structure here, the main ideas, the latest topics about this. The results are all here, just like with ChatGPT or WriteSonic. This is a research process, and you can get inspirational data in order to write content. For instance, you can generate ideas for an article about for your own website, such as for remote work, based on the main questions from Vision Pro, in order to make sure that you can make use of the popularity of the tool and to make it as relevant as possible for remote work. This is a revolution of remote work, of the workspace, and I want to find out more about remote work, how Apple Vision can improve remote work, the future of meetings happening virtually. All of these topics are something that we could ask about, we could ask for ideas, and we get ideas which are already well positioned. So in the search engine we would look at each of these ideas, but then we also don't want to repeat the same exact answers that have already been given elsewhere. So if I like one of these topics, I want to talk about this, I want to write about this topic, then here it can also give me the possible layout of the article, like introduction, main body, limitations, conclusions, so possible outlines for an article. So this helps my work become a lot easier, because I, as content creator, can then just use these ideas, and they're already organized. It's also important to take into account what Lily mentioned before, that we don't need to reinvent the wheel. There are some limitations, some questions that have already been asked and answered, so there is no point in working on them again. But what we can do is we can classify the questions, take the generated questions, and we can get hub and spoke on these questions that people have asked about this topic. And so here, of course, I made one about ice cream. So all of these questions are about ice cream. It's something to eat in summer. So you can do the same for main keywords with intention volume, with you can consolidate them with headings and descriptions. These are synonymous. So you can create a table like that. And you have H1 here on the right. This can save a lot of work for our content writers, and we can work much faster. We can also create a visualization of the same thing using the Show Me plugin from ChatGPT, and this creates a map with different formats, and you can also edit it yourself, so you can restructure it, you can share information with the client, the technical data, and also using the same thing to analyze competition and search intent on Google. Well, here we have an example of Apple Vision Pro, and we can have the link that takes me directly to the right place. So we have real links. This saves me a lot of research work, and you can also get recommendations of related new topics based on what has already been covered on these sites, but without repeating the headlines. They offer different alternatives for titles and for H1. And you can also validate if it's possible to position with the same page for two similar searches. You can ask whether it's possible to position in the same page, and you can ask how many websites match this content. So first we get different websites which are not positioned in the same place, and then we have the URLs which are in common. Then we validate that the URLs are correct and that they actually work, that they're real URLs. You can also compare if it's possible to position different international markets with the same page. So like if the top 10 positioned pages are also positioned in Mexico, this is very good for international marketing. And it's not only about different markets, but also different scenarios. We can have different competencies such as MailChimp, Pepper, MailerLite, Mailify, Malpro. So these are all different players, but commercially speaking, they have different content, different offerings, but a similar demand and similar product. And now regarding the creation of a content which is strategic, you can get ideas about content on the basis of videos which are trending about a topic. So you can look for different similar videos, similar products, and again you can get recommendations about the title, description, hashtags, and to optimize all these videos on YouTube. You have different options here that are proposed, so different proposed title optimizations, and again you get them without copying the best positioned pages ones. I really like how there is also a reasoning of these recommendations, so you can understand why these have been proposed. And you can also get different options of descriptions for unique products on the basis of pages that are best positioned for the search of a product. And so here we have some examples about the advantages and disadvantages of products. You also can get facts and statistics about products, which you can include in your articles along with sources. And you can also compare facts and originality of your own content and make sure that it's unique and objective. So it all works very well. Actually, I typed in SEonthebeach is a conference that takes place in Italy in June 2023 and is organized by Giorgio. And the bot checked the information and said that the information was not correct, that SEonthebeach was organized in La Manga in 2023 and that there is no person in this event that's called Giorgio. So it's not bad, is it? But how to integrate all of this with SEO data which already exists? There is the premium option which you can use to integrate data in this way. And the data that you already have, here you have the intent, you have the sentiment, the parent category, and you have the extensions that link to the APIs of ChatGPT. And you can create different categories, locations, listings. You have a different page, different screen for each of these. You can also use all of this for creating sitemaps and for making use of chatbots in AI. And you can also create interconnections between links using the same thing. And you can use it to canonize HTTP headers with an Apache server. I made it.